doing one video a week because I've been like editing the the one for Thursday, or started doing that, and um, kind of didn't really feel as aligned. And I think like doing too many videos is somewhat distracting me from the thing that I really need to do, which is building out the template and um, like connecting with the people. And it also allows me to make the videos better, and it's not like a rushed thing. Um, do you have that too? Some like that, like the work that you do in the evening is just, it feels lower quality. It's just like unfocused, and it's just,
Yeah,
I don't know, like
I would say so. Yeah, like I believe we even talked about it earlier. That like for example, like if I sleep quite well during the week, then I can like go one night and just work with the same kind of quality during the night as well. But when I do that repeatedly, the quality does
no,
like it's slower. Yeah.
no. Maybe it's also like drinking coffee. Like, do you drink coffee, for example?
No, I
Okay.
only do it for taste, not to
Yeah.
feel better.
Yeah, I find like I try not to drink every day. So but like on the days that I do not drink it, I do feel that my head is a little bit foggy and all of that. So yeah. So there's few things that I wanna go into, but let's welcome Evan
Hey,
back
Evan.
to the community. How you been, Evan?
Yeah, doing really good. Uh, got over the bug and got over the life situations, and so back in action.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
good to have you back for sure.
Yes, yes.
So now we can like focus more on like the wizard work. Evan, you kind of had a bit of a revelation on building out a Notion system that is like somewhat different than everyone else builds Notion systems. So um, I'm kind of like just curious and like trying to document this and like where you are with this, and like the way that you formulate it is like it's going to completely change the game. So I just want to like see is like, okay, where we're still in the starting grounds, and I'm very excited, but like how would you describe that right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been trying to figure out ever since I've started using Notion, because the way that everybody uses Notion is not how databases work. I'm like a database expert, and so it's like super confusing to me on like why Notion doesn't work like the other things, and then why like nobody realizes that, nobody cares, nobody notices, nobody talks about it. Because I've tried to ask the online community 100,000 times, like what, what's going on here? But like with the recent updates with Notion, with the tabbed view and things, it all started to come together. Where it's like, oh my goodness, they're actually going to do it like it's supposed to work. And I mean, the beautiful thing about databases is that they scale like infinitely, and you can, uh, have this thing that's like a repeatable process and kind of like replicates itself. Um, and so yeah, now that it's working like that, it just allows me to like unleash my superpower, and actually like systematize the construction of like infinite systems, which is beautiful because that's what I thought Notion was going to be for me from the beginning. It was like, hey, Lego blocks, I can build a new world that for people to enter and experience. But then, it's taken me 2 years of like beating my head against the wall and like learning everything there is to know about Notion and still not being pleased with it. So yeah, like here over the past couple of weeks, finally got it to work, and so now, yeah, like the fun begins. So.
Swim. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Especially the aspect that um like you when we talked, you put it in a way that like everyone has their own data and they can kind of like take it with them. And this is something that is gets really tricky, like also with the permission layers and all of that. And um like having that fixed and being able to like, okay, here's like all of your data, here's like all of your databases, but they are classified, they are organized, and we are all kind of speaking the same language, and I think this is the key aspect that we need, because we cannot play a game where everyone calls things differently. So
Yeah,
but like
really,
everyone should. Yeah.
that piece right there is what I've been working towards, and was like, the whole brainchild of Wagami and everything was like to have a medium that could tie everybody's universes together, um, and so yeah, ultimately going back to my roots, like that's going to be the beautiful experience that we bring to people, is that it's like Google Translate translates all the languages through some like mysterious Google language in order to do the conversion. We will be that conversion layer.
Yeah, I really like that connection piece, and um I think this is what we can ultimately do, to connect people with one another through a shared language. So I recently joined the school cat community, and I think they do that through memes and humor. And something that I would like to do is do that through games. And the Sophia, did you see the video from today by any chance?
About the flow?
Yeah,
No, I haven't gotten to it. I was looking at the post right before I jumped on the call, but I haven't actually watched the video.
gotcha. Yeah, because this is something that I'd like to focus on today, on how we can create a challenge. So to give you a rough overview on the video, it's basically how we can optimally engage a community, and that is through this state of flow. And I know we like tried to record that video together, and I felt like um, it was very general, but not as specific around communities. So that's why I wanted to spend more time on the packaging. And Evan, like you didn't hear that from the beginning, but I'm thinking now to move to one video a week, instead of two. Like in April, I did three. Um, I kind of proved myself that the system can handle that, that I can handle that, but it doesn't make sense to just make videos for the sake of making videos. Like there should be a sense of purpose and a direction. And I kind of told myself like, oh yeah, I can just make a video every week about like connecting to other people, kind of like networking. But since I have such a high standard on like the videos that I want to produce, for example, the video with Sheldon that I did last week, I spent like 4 hours editing that, because I was like, okay, like how can we make this like sound really good, and how can it like not to be complicated, and then like taking an hour long conversation and then breaking it into the structure. And um I just like if I do that and like I spend all of my day doing that, then I cannot really do anything else. And I think there need to be other things that um I'm also working on. So currently like trying to build more the marketing system out of that, while Evan, you are working on the the underlying system supporting the system. So the meta system, if you'd like to say.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and yeah, I've been really enjoying just like engaging more with people, and I think just doing that is fun, like bringing more people in the community. Like we're almost at 150 people now, which is super exciting. And yeah, kind of just nudging them, like for example, something I'd love to do is just like chat with everyone. It's just like, hey, by the way, we're talking today about this call, and like adding more structure and organization to this call, so we have like a clear agenda. But we do have a clear agenda today, which is the challenge from the flow video. So essentially, in order to optimally engage a community and achieve this group flow state, there are three triggers that we can leverage. One being challenge. So school kind of does this all wrong, because either you're bored or you're overwhelmed. They like because like the teacher is like, hey, I need to make make it for everyone. And that means like everyone is dissatisfied because it's not made for anyone. And um, I think we can do a better job at that because it's a community. It's not just coming from one source. So one aspect is kind of like challenging people where they are by giving them difficulties. And it's like, hey, here's an easy, medium, hard option for that challenge. But the challenge should still contribute towards a common goal. So the 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 things that the people are doing when they work on the easy challenge should connect to the greater goal and connect to the overall um, yeah, shared goal. So we are all working on something together and everyone gets to contribute and everyone's contribution is felt, is noticed, is appreciated. And then the last aspect would be instant feedback, where people who are further ahead give feedback to the ones behind. And I think if we build it in a way that you have the beginners who are getting helped by the advanced people, and then the advanced are getting helped by the experts, and the experts are just like trying to play at the highest level and synthesizing it down and just like, hey, like if you are going all in on this, then here are the things that you should be doing. So what I want to use this call now is think of a challenge that we can do in the game of life, that everyone can do, from like easy to medium to hard. And I guess the tricky part is like, what what specific challenge would that be? And like I have a few ideas, but I want to get yours first.
I'll take that. So I was starting to question, like, went back like right before this. I found the 50 cognitive uh, thing in your book thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot you got all of these book reviews and things like that. Um, which I mean, I think that as far as the first challenge goes, it should be even easier than anything that we've thought, that we plan on doing in the future. Just kind of getting our feet wet. But yeah, the point of this is, hey, it's an educational community, but it's more for to enjoy ourselves in the community. So something that's partially fun, uh, while stretching, growing ourselves, and then benefits the other people in the group. Um, I think that something that revolves around creativity, and like a shared growth experience where we're, you know, playing to our creative side of some sort, where it's kind of fun, but also kind of like, yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us here are like, master artists or anything like that. But yeah, something. And if you are, like, then that should be fun for you too. But yeah, something that's not necessarily educational based, but more like creativity side of things, basically.
Creativity, I like that. um it also kind of connects to the Octalysis framework. Like when we think about positive motivation and intrinsic motivation, and kind of like the in between there is basically empowerment and creativity. So like helping people um, like explore themselves. So yeah, I think that's a key point. What are your
Well,
thoughts,
we add
Sophia?
another at this point. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah.
that this will be a good, like, insight into not just like what people know, but who they are, and what, because it gives people a chance to express themselves.
Mm, yeah, I like that.
I would also kind of agree with Evan's point to make it like very easy, because from generally from like our ideal avatar that we've talked about like a while ago, they are coming like as players of video games. So it has to be similar to that as much as possible, at least the first, like the easiest level. Because you mentioned that like you want to have like easy, medium, and hard, right?
Mm,
If we do that, then there could be like levels to the challenge. Not necessarily, but if you wanted to do that, it could be something like that. But definitely making it as familiar to them as possible so that it's not difficult for them to get started.
Mm. How about, because like we already have the onboarding, and I think that generally works great on like people moving through these steps. And I always felt like after the onboarding, like getting people, giving them something to do. And like so far, the 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 gift that they were receiving was like a chat with me, and I was like kind of talking with the people, and um, I had like two conversations like this week already. Um, no, three actually. Yeah. Anyways, um, so kind of like, but there wasn't something that I could like lead them instead of just. And whenever I was like, hey, here's like this big system that was like, I basically gave them the hard challenge, and then like, it's like I'm busy. Like I have stuff to do. I have like my own system and all of that, and it's like, okay, that's not the way to go. So um but I was talking to like having something that is a little bit like easier, and what I'm thinking on, like, if we have this easy, medium, and hard, like this should be something that is repeatable, or like that thought I just had. It's like ideally we run the same challenge every week or every month, and continue to make this better over trying to come up with something new every time. Um, so I think the easy aspect, like what's the first thing that you do in the game? You create your character, right? Um, so maybe easy is just creating your character, which I would say, like, I've been really thinking about like what are the key aspects that we would need in the character creation. And I think having like a direction where you're going. It's like, do you want to help people with their health, or do you want to make them more money, or do you want to like connect them more um to their partners, or to nature, or to themselves even. So basically, like, okay, where are you going, in which industry are you working, and then what role are you playing? So that's kind of like the knight, wizard, and ranger role. So we can kind of like lean into that as well. And then the third aspect would be the rank. It's like, okay, at what level of competency are you playing? Like how much have you achieved already, as in like something measurable? I think this would be most for, it's like the easiest thing is just like, okay, how much revenue have you generated, or like weekly revenue. So that's why I'm thinking on having these ranks. And like um when you're trying to earn your first 1k, then you're bronze rank, and if you're between 1 and 10k, then you're silver, and if you're between 10k and 100k, then you're gold, and if you're beyond 100k, then you're diamond. um so maybe just like creating that, and then kind of like, so this could be easy, um and this
Do
is
you
like a
ever
challenge that we then always give new members of the community after they've done the onboarding. And then
do
like
you ever
maybe we could present all the people's profiles that they've created, because like we want to connect this to everyone, and it's something that everyone has done at some point. It's like, hey, you have created your profile, and then we highlight these to everyone, and then maybe we can have like a shared goal of saying like, hey, we want 10 new profiles created every week, or something like that. So this is a community quest that everyone works on together. So that means either motivating people who have not done that to do so, or to bring in new members. So this is like also how we grow. Um, what do you think of that easy challenge?
What would be their main reward after they finish the challenge? And also another thing, so when you mentioned ranks, you only mentioned kind of the wealth quests. I feel like we could
Hmm.
have like maybe either each, like you could have separate rank for each of those areas, or you could have a general combined drink.
I like the idea of a combined rank, but I'm not sure on how to do that.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah, I mean,
challenging.
uh, I definitely like the feeling like we need to like, we should measure like all aspects of life. Um, uh, in the onboarding process that I like laid out in that one document, the idea that I had instead of uh, I haven't actually done the onboarding that you put in place, but you have like the engagement piece. There's like something uh, like say the opposite, it's challenge like challenge beliefs or whatever. Um, what I had was, um, for you to like share like uh, what your interest is, or like okay, here what your primary, you know, yeah. I'm just gonna say interest. Yeah, what
Yeah.
field of what field you're interested in, and and then the way I had always envisioned it was like even the experts, the master level, like um, need something like they want to explore things. So I mean, everybody has like their primary thing that they're like the best at, the best thing that they know how to do, and then the one thing that they want to know how to do the most.
Mm.
And so then like we on a weekly basis or whatever, it's like that's how you find like your tribe or whatever. Well, more just like, hey, who's interested in the things that I'm interested in? Not necessarily okay what the skill set is or what my profession is, but like, hey, I like to do flow toys, and I was like, is anybody else interested in like that kind of thing, or I like making music, or I like writing, or I mean it doesn't have to be all creative. It can be I like you know sports or whatever. But yeah, like starting people off with the the character creation piece is clearly like the first step. But then coupled with that, like really getting to know one another and having that be like the challenge piece, because there's so many different like aspects of interest or whatever where we can like make I have like a whole series of games actually revolving around uh, um, like uh, choosing like okay here this week you like put together like a little like miniature character of yourself, and then like having those characters like compete in like a series of like scenarios that are like generated or whatever. Is like who survives in the Squid Games of like little
Ooh,
mini
I like this.
or whatever. And I have like literally like pages and pages of ideas on things like this. So yeah, and it all kind of revolves around hey, like getting to know people and discovering what their personality types are, what their learning styles are, what their interests are, what the background and all of those things, so that you can fully form the 360-degree character profile that actually becomes them.
Okay. That sounds more like a medium challenge though already. Because like the easy one should be like, um, so since we are doing a lot of things with Notion, maybe the easy one is just like really creating the the properties on Notion, or um, here's my idea. So people go through the onboarding, and then at the end they receive a gift, and that gift would be a form that they fill out, and this form creates their profile page. So on that profile page, we would have like very basic things, and um like where are you going, um what are you good at, and where do you want to go, or like, yeah. So kind of like thinking of these basic things, and people just like, the easy thing is just, hey, you just have to fill this out. Super
Mhm.
easy. Like you can do this in.
Not easy for me. That's why that's like a big portion of like my of Wagami and the whole belief system that I have there is that I hate open-ended questions, and I freeze up
Oh
every
no, no,
time.
no, like it's a toggle. So
Okay, like
it's a single
yeah.
select.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like what I've found the most fun and enjoyable experience that also achieves the same thing is this or that. Like, hey, would you rather be an artist or a doctor or whatever, and then like pose it like, yeah, framing things that way where it's super simple. It's like yes or no, like one or two, one or two, one or two, one or two, one or two. Um, and then
Do you think we can do this with threes?
oh yeah, 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 sure, yeah, yeah. But yeah, just something that's simpler than like that's why I still struggle with like the GPTs because they always just want to like here, you know, tell me about yourself. I'm like I don't know, like you give me a whole bunch of examples and I'll tell you which ones are good and which ones are bad. Um, and so that's uh, and I've tested this with like children and a bunch of like the like people that I tutor and things along the way, and it's the most enjoy like dopamine rewarding thing where it's just like ooh because you don't know what's going to pop up, and it's kind of interchangeable, and it's yeah it kind of like led like
So
well,
let like I don't think we have to go into too much detail on how this would work, but like maybe just getting specific on what that is. So um having like a mini game in Notion where you just select between different things, and at the end of the selection you would have your profile. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
yeah, and then it would be like you've completed like 3% of like the possible like possibilities of like character, you know,
Mm,
infinite character creation or whatever. But yeah, like as like it gets them started. It does like the definitive ones that's like, hey, we need to know what character class or some of the like the
mm,
easy ones, like the high level ones. But then yeah, like having the the bar, the progress bar across all of the different stats, where it's like, okay, you know, you're you know this much about yourself, or you've framed
mm.
this much about.
What do you think, Sophia? Do you think this can work?
I think so, but the only kind of um, problem I have with this is that is it rewarding enough for them? Like they get after the onboarding, they get their profile, and like then what? Do you have like a clear explanation what that profile will do for them? Because like I personally do not see why they would want that to begin with. Like, from where I stand, the gifts should be super simple. So I like how it is in Ryan's community. So you would get like 100 um, post templates, and that's like straightforward. Like you know what you're getting. But here, profile it's more vague, and I feel like they would need more nudging towards that in order to feel that it's valuable. And yeah, I would say just kind of the end results lacking for now for them.
Well, why are they
Yeah,
joining the
like
group in the first place? Is my biggest struggle with everything that we have. Is like there is no uh, like there. I mean, we can't give them what they want or need if they didn't join for a reason. I mean, like you have to frame like we're just framing like we want to play, and so it's like all right, well, what do what do what would they want? You know, I mean, for me, like the character representation of yourself is what they would want. I mean, when you think about life gaming and everything, it's like it always comes back to at least that like RPG character class kind of mentality of things. And so by starting things off with, okay, here's the beginning of like your profile, and maybe maybe through the onboarding process, like highlighting all the things that like you can do with it in the real world slash like what it could become and show like how badass like some of like once you've like finished it and spent time like replacing your image like 1,000 times where it's like yeah look at this is me something like that if you show the like the end product then they can kind of see it's like okay yes this is cool I think I'm gonna like
Yeah, I think this like sounds more compelling to be honest. Because like I feel like you need to put like really good copy in there, like in the onboarding, so somewhere in there. That like what this character like how it applies in the real world, what are like the bonuses that you will get once you have your profile and all of that. Basically how it helps you.
it.
So yeah,
no.
then I 100% agree that like it should start with character creation. I believe we talked about it even like a few months ago when we were like when Team Unity was not even developed yet. We were talking about like character creation, then what
Mm,
comes after that. So I feel like it just circles back to it.
yeah, yeah, and I think like if we frame it around the aspect, it's like, hey, like you joined this community for a reason. So just kind of like getting people into that, and it's like, hey, like you're obviously interested in the game of life. It is a game. In order to play a game, you need to have a character. Like if you want to interact with other people, um, then you need to have a character. And like the better you create your character, the better other people will also understand you. And if we ultimately make it around relationships and like kind of getting to know each other, then like that's the purpose of that. So if people like are not motivated by that, then that's probably not the right community for them anyways. And there will always be people who are not behind that, but having these kind of challenges where we say like, hey, um we want like 10 people to create their character, and maybe having like and this is kind of like where maybe the medium or hard challenges come in, um where like you encourage each other to go after these things, right? Because um like there needs to be something that happens if we complete the challenge. So maybe creating it a bit like a Kickstarter campaign, right? Like if we achieve this many backers, this is something that you're getting. So having like a reward that is really valuable for people, and it's like, oh, like if we get like if we achieve the easy, medium, and hard challenge, then this happens. If we only achieve one of those, then this happens. Um, so I think like having some form of a reward is key. One, and then like I think the easy one is easy to just create your profile. What do you think should the medium or hard one be?
Something around the interest-based aspects of things. I
Yeah,
think
what you described, like kind of like fleshing out your interest, your personality, like going maybe like maybe it's the same thing. It's like, hey, like the challenge is create your profile. But there's an easy profile, there's a medium profile, and there's a hard profile. And if you have completed an easy profile before, then congratulations, you can now do a medium profile. And if you have like done everything from the medium profile, then you can do the hard profile. And guess what? The hard profile is never going to be done, because there's always ways that you can like work on the profile. And then the hard would be like, well, have you like added all of your like projects that you're currently working on, and have you kind of like updated like so hard would basically just be like, have you completely turned your life into a game to the point where you track everything that you do, and everything contributes to like a level system. And I think then we can make these calls that we have right now, people just kind of like showcasing their their profiles. um because like this is something that I have done. Like the first community that I can like created slash be part of was also based on Notion. Actually, I'm gonna show this. Like I don't think anyone will care. So this is it's like a community that is based on Mind Valley. So it's like an educational platform that is like also it's more spiritual education, but we kind of like got together like a bunch of like young people who are um like why isn't everyone kind of like interested about learning these concepts and like thinking about like a big vision and all of that. So we were kind of like finding each other, and we wanted to get to know each other. So we had these Notion profiles, and this is kind of like how it looked. It has nothing has happened here since 23, because like everyone is kind of like went their own ways, and like the one who was like mostly running it, kind of like a bunch of things happened. um but here we had like different aspects, but I think the most interesting thing is here the network, and like having different people in here that you can say, hey, like where they're currently based, what's their nationality, their birthday. Like that's what we had. And then, hey, this is me. Here's my life vision. This is my favorite heroes. And everyone kind of created their own page. And people were commenting on that. And it's like, oh, this is so cool, and like what you build out. Um, and my top role models and skills that I was inspired. And everyone looks like very different, as you can see. So Tatjana starts with a picture, and then kind of like a text, and then this is who I am.
Yes,
And like
this is
she's much more
perfect.
picture focused.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I love this. Like the giving people the ability, like the freedom, the space to be creative and design themselves like the way that they want, but then still giving them the underlying framework of like the the variables or whatever like that go into the profile, and then like always having it left open to where people can add new traits that we hadn't considered or hadn't added, or new like fields or whatever of like
yeah,
yeah, hey, yeah, I love it. That's what I had always imagined. And then like the thing that I thought would be super cool, and I haven't really ever executed this, but like if you imagine like during like over the course of a week, if we do this like a weekly challenge thing, like the amount of like points you build up or like things that you do that earn whatever, however our system works. Whether there's just be, I mean, for my system, it was just like simply you get points by putting anything at all in the system. Like whether it's just like, hey, you tracking your time, you like doing activities, time spent doing like being in the system, um, accrues one type of points, and then it like doing certain skill based things acquires another points. But like every week, all the points that you accrue, you then get to like use in some form of like battle or challenge or competition or just like yeah, I mean something where it's like a reason to spend them but not like on oh 20 minutes of Netflix or whatever, something that's like a game that you in which you spend the points, and it's like uh yeah, i I think that that is something that um would be cool and fun and like keep people like want it, like why would they want to use the system at all, and if we make that like that weekly thing uh more fun, like the better we make that, the more enticed people will be to like yeah show up every day and do it, because it's like that one day where you get to like if you have as many points as you have, you get to like distribute them or buy like imagine like Pokemon cards or something where it's like here choose your like set of things to like battle, and then like you win, you either win like the little thing, uh, and then another. Sorry, I have so many ideas. Another reason that I like to do it that way is because a lot of times people think one thing about themselves, and it's like, oh yes, I am this. This is who I am. But then if like somebody else takes that characteristic off the board or whatever, you're forced to start to like think about other aspects of yourself where it's not like, oh, okay, you know, like somebody already stole curiosity from me. Okay, well, like what other like combinations of the things that I've already claimed for myself through like the actions of my profile, which of those characteristics do I want to like leverage in battle or whatever. Like I said, I mean, I've thought of like it could go a lot of different ways, but it's a way to challenge, give people a reason to think outside the box about themselves.
yeah. Something that I'm still thinking about is like ideally the challenge is recurring, right? So do we make it recurring on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis? And um, like if because I don't think we can expect people to like always invest time, and like especially in the beginning, it's going to we basically want them to introduce to the system, right? So um, maybe I still want to like Evan, what you're saying is like I love this, but this is like very far in the future. And I
Yeah,
think
I mean, we're
we
like
we're
marching
moving
towards
in
it.
that direction.
Yeah, yeah,
So but like let's try to like think about the easy, medium, and hard aspect. So if easy is creating your profile, do we want to do medium and hard, just create your profile more, or
I
should
was
we like
gonna say that. Like, I feel like there has to be different for medium and hard. And I think, remember about like the quests? We're talking about the quests a lot and how Game of Life will be like directing people into different communities. I feel like a medium or hard challenge, we can figure out which one, would be framed around finding your quest. Because I was also just
mm,
thinking that, I was noting down what I'm thinking right now about like your profile. I feel like that could also be framed as like figuring out like your unfair advantage. So you're like figuring out your character and like what you're good at, what the world needs, and you could also use that framework. And then like I feel like this challenge, it's not recurring, and I feel like that is also more personal challenge, so it doesn't have a specific date. So once a person completes their onboarding, the challenge automatically starts and they have like a week to complete their profile. And then medium and hard challenges, they would have dates. So like you would need to like hop on a wealth quest and complete it in like 2 weeks, and everybody should do it.
so it's
So
like a
yeah,
message board kind of thing where
sort
we
of.
release these quests and like, hey, by the way, we are starting this shared quest on like doing this together. This is a medium quest for all wizards, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, or it could be wizard, ranger, and knight, like a D&D party or something, and they
Yeah.
grab a quest and do whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
this is like exactly what I want to do with Team Unity and like having
Mm-hmm.
these shared quests.
Yeah,
And I see Game of Life as the beginner town a little bit, like the tutorial. It's like, okay, like you understand like how the game works and all of these things, but like if you're ready to venture outside, to like create a team around yourself and like really like do things meaningfully, then um yeah, maybe I was also thinking maybe like the hard quests are the paid quests, and
yeah,
then like the easy one is always, hey, create your profile,
yeah,
and you can, I think you can always choose the easy quest, and I think
yeah,
you can always like, if you say like, hey, I'm taking today the easy quest, which means I'm just working on my profile. It's like,
yeah,
okay, like you can always work on your profile, and that's always an easy thing because this is about you and you can do whatever the fuck you want because it's your profile.
yeah.
um and then the medium quest would be more specific. um
You
I
could
think
create
that
like
I think
groups
the
of
easy, medium,
people.
hard, a
Yeah,
large
sorry.
portion of that can just be like who you are like going going against or going with, like what, like who you grouped with this week, like not even necessarily like what, like I mean if you're brand new, like you don't have like as many points to spend, or you don't have as much like knowledge or character aspects to even do anything, so like you are just naturally like working with, and that's why it's just like the introduction where it's just like the very beginning is just like, yeah, you got to the town and you're just like exploring the like the interest, the realm of interests or whatever, um by yourself, but like also like interacting with like the druid or whatever the other, you're all just there like exploring the interest thing, and like sh- that like and then like working together to like whatever, something in that um realm, and then like then the people that are yellow and medium and hard, it's like those people, it's like not even like we're saying, hey, you have to go do this, uh but yeah, it's like either solo, cooperative, competitive, and having that be like easy, medium, hard as far as like where they are. Um,
oh, I like that.
Yeah,
So
cooperative,
easy would
competitive,
be
super.
solo, and then medium would be cooperative, and then hard would be competitive.
yeah,
So hey, and then people can see like, okay, like what do I want to do, and like, okay, okay, this is really cool. So we can have cooperative quests and competitive quests in that way. And but the thing, like, how would we do cooperative quests? Because like you would have to find someone. Like what we're talking about is kind of going way beyond a free community.
Well,
Um,
it can all be done asynchronously still. I mean, like even if like on the Tuesday we present everybody's profiles or whatever, it's like here you can work on it throughout the week and you've accrued whatever points or whatever, and you can designate them or whatever. Even if like we play out the game or do whatever the thing is, it's like we kind of control the narrative or like the scenarios or like here spin the bingo wheel or whatever. It's like these two people against each other who wins when it comes to character choice or like things like that.
since
But
you mentioned that, I was chatting with Yasmin. She mentioned that you know her. She had like the community about the journey. It was also gamified.
mhm,
The approach was like much more in the beginning of the aspect and like helping people set goals. And something that I really liked about her community is having these bingo cards.
yeah, she's got a whole
So
bunch of cool ideas like that, and they're really
yeah,
well put together. Yeah,
yeah. Um, So maybe we can have these bingo cards as the medium quests. So they're like different things that you can complete, and it's like, hey, like, and if you complete your bingo card, maybe um like you can earn yourself into Team Unity, and like earn yourself like, okay, like you have proven yourself, you have like completed these things there, like you have like, I don't know, you've done like a health quest, an impact quest, and by the way, I'm thinking about rebranding wealth to impact. I feel like that somehow feels more aligned because it's not just
and
about
mine had
making
the
money.
contribution.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So maybe on the bingo we would like, in order to get the bing, okay, so Sophia, to give you context, so it's like a card 5 by 5, so there are 25 fields, and then in the middle there's a fuck no um a quest, and that's like the thing is like no way I'm gonna get this, like this is like, hey, I'm gonna like get to 10K in the next month or something like that. And it's like just like absolute no way. It's like for some people it's like I'm jumping out of a plane or whatever, right? Um so if we kind of like create the quests around health, wealth, and relationships, and we make sure that people are doing all of these things, um then like I think at the end it's like they can unlock, it's like, hey, you have completed the bingo, which is the medium quest. Now you can ascend to the hard quest, which requires you to work with other people, which requires you to have a team around you. It's something that you cannot do alone anymore. The bingo quest is something that you can always do by yourself, if need be. Of course you still get like encouragement, or you can like do this with other people, and like all of that be great. um but I really like that. So easy would be profile creation, you can always do that. You can always do another medium quest and like just say, hey, I love this bingo so much, I want to like do another one. I was like, sure. And then the hard one would be more goal oriented. It's like, hey, I want to achieve this outcome, I want to like, um yeah.
yeah.
What
I
would
mean,
hard quest be? Or
The
like a
thing,
hard
like,
challenge?
I feel like the hard quests are in the community, so you would
Yeah.
just they would ascend there, and then like we've just talked about, you could like when they have a specific goal in health, impact, or relationships, you would send them off to a community, and then they would have to be like there would be a cooperative team, but they could also compete between each other, like which team, I don't know, scores the most,
mhm.
and there is
Mm,
going to be like very, I don't know, serious more atmosphere in the team unity. And in Game of Life, they're just figuring things out, like finding some friends, and then they can go to team unity.
Yeah, we'll have some competitive aspects in the game of life, but it won't be like team oriented,
Yeah,
where it's just
yeah.
like
yeah,
here, yeah, competing and learning how to work together, and also like
yeah.
overcome one another. Um, yeah, I all of that,
Mm,
and then really everything team oriented we save for the paid aspects of
yeah.
things, and then like if you win during the weeks in a game of life, then you get like 1 month free or a, free
Yeah.
trial or whatever to
Yeah,
see.
I really like that, to kind of like dip your toes in and like to celebrate people. And I was also
And they're the
thinking
ones
like
that
we
are
can
putting
just,
in the work.
yeah.
They're the ones
Oh
putting in
yeah.
the work anyway. So it's also like a qualifying filter to funnel
Yeah,
upward
Yeah,
true.
funnel.
exactly.
And
Yep.
Um, I'm even thinking we could mirror this then, because in Team Unity, we'd also have an easy challenge, which is like, hey, now you create your team profile or your community
Mhm.
profile.
Yeah,
And then we still have the bingo cards, but now you have to like do them as a team. You cannot do them all alone anymore, because there's like the focus shifts from health, impact, and relationships, and it's more around attract, convert, and deliver.
yeah,
And that's what the bingo cards would then be. And then like the hard challenge on that would just maybe only the first person who kind of like checks this off gets that card. And like we're all playing on the same bingo cards, and like if someone like reaches like makes 1,000 new followers or something, then no one else can check that off anymore, or
yeah,
something like that. But like I
yeah,
feel like that's
yeah.
still
And
very far in the future, and we'll
once we
figure
get
that
to
out.
the hard ones, I mean, like the way my thing went is it progressed from like role playing game to real time strategy to MOBAs, where it's like actually like head to head, like
Yeah,
teams, where it's just like look, capture the flag kind of shit, where it's like okay, who's gonna get there first? Who can
yeah.
go like you know make $10,000 today or whatever, like
Mm.
or so
Yeah,
on.
kind of like having these extended hackathons or something. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
like, like your challenge is to like start a brand new community with people that you have not worked before, and you like you work together in a team of three, and whoever like gets there first wins, and then we can like um send them like also like really cool merch things when they win these aspects. And like kind of like Sophia, something that I really liked about you, what you mentioned on having these physical achievements, and kind of like I think this one company is like the Spartans. Like this, it's like a race or something, and
Mm-hmm.
like
okay, yeah,
for every race that you complete, you get like a medal with like a specific thing, and
Yeah.
it's like always themed around something. So
Yeah.
um,
Basically a real life achievement.
yeah.
yes, that.
Yeah,
And
and I feel like the the things that we create in terms of like developing the group and everything. So like, all of these things could then just be like yes, they're things we have, but like on Etsy and I don't know, like they're like these are all real good like products, or even the things that like we design as far as physical products. Yeah, all everything that we're doing for this is definitely more valuable out there in the real world rather than in our like little think tank. One of the things that was mentioned earlier that I want to bring back up is yeah, like competing to bring in new members. That should
yeah.
definitely be like
Oh yeah, I
a
agree with that.
monthly push, whatever, some sort of put like I don't want it to be too frequent to where it's just like okay, we always got to be like but like some sort of thing where we have affiliate turn on affiliates or something or yeah, but
Maybe this is something that we can then run. I would make this special, and also give people a taste on what Team Unity is like. So maybe once a month we say, hey, now group up in 3 people, and we'll see who gets the most people, like which team gets the most people in the community. Um, and we're not gonna give you like there are tons of resources out there, you can like all consume them, but we're gonna like track which team gets the most members in there. And of course like we would still have the qualification. For example, like I'm not letting people in if they don't have a profile picture, or I was like, hey, like only real people count. Like if they if they sound like a bot and they act like a bot, even if they're not a bot, we treat them as a bot and not gonna let them in. It's like um it's like if it sounds like a duck and it looks like a duck, we
yeah.
consider it as a duck.
Yeah, we will have some threshold of as far as like they have to make it through a certain point of the onboarding process, or like talk to one of us, or whatnot.
Yeah,
However,
or yeah, they need to complete the onboarding.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe they
yeah,
need to get to a specific level in the community, like level 2 or 3, so that they actually
Yeah.
got likes, so they're a real
yeah.
person.
Especially if we're doing it monthly, like that
Yes.
gives yeah. It's like hey,
Or
we'll
we
reward
could
you by the 15th or whatever.
we could even make it more valuable. So like, hey, like you have 1 week, and like if the people in that week, like the more they do, the more the more points you get. So if you get in like 10 people at level 1, you get 10 points. But if you get in like 3 people at level 3, then you have 15 points or something like that. So and
Or
this
to
would
make it, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I was just gonna add to that, like to make it easier, we could do like, you get 1 point per like a person per level. So you have one person at level 1, you get 1 point. You have 3 people at level 3, you get 9 points. So like each person would
I would
work
make it
their level.
exponential though, because the
You
levels are
think?
also exponential. It's exponentially more difficult to level up.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying then.
and
So
it's exponentially more difficult to bring in more people that like after you've already eaten up all of your friends and your family or
Yeah,
other people you know. Like, so,
yeah, that's also true.
it's
Hmm.
also, I would not make that the main focus. I would make that more like a bonus thingy.
Yeah.
So because it's not something that they can control, like
right.
what the person does in the community.
Mm.
They can control like how many people they bring in. It's more like input focused.
Yeah,
So
I like
yeah,
that.
that could be just like an add-on. The
Yeah, like
expectation
yeah,
is level one,
what
but if they
level are
do
you and how
better,
many people
it's good.
did you bring in
Yeah.
and what like the quality still comes into play. It's like okay, here
Yeah.
let me just go, bring in a whole bunch of people from a different group. But like yeah, I agree that it should be based on their potential, not the, like the people they
I'm
bring in.
excited for that. Man, like that was so fun to like as three brainstorming together. I feel like that hasn't happened in too long. So
It's gonna be so
I
fun.
want to
There's
like
so many different
yeah,
ways that we can grow it. It's just
yeah, it kind of like it adds to that. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're at right now. Now is school news time. We're gonna like continue going into like the different challenges, and um my next focus is to work on the marketing template to like help towards that as well. And yeah, otherwise like it was a lot of fun. Like I miss these sessions,
Me
like
too.
going deeper into the brainstorming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Looking forward to do more of that later on.
for all right, you guys. See you
Bye, everyone.
in the
See you
community.
tomorrow. Yeah.
each and every day.
Yeah. Enjoy. Peace. Bye bye.